I need all the wins.
Hello and welcome to You Get to Know Your Sevens in the Sun. This is another episode of our Algarve Sevens Get to Know some of the coaches, players, or teams, as we did in the last few chapters with Mike Mulroy about the refs, David Higgins about the 100 world legends, and so much more. And today with me I have Paul John, who is the head coach of the Hong Kong men and women's sevens team. Paul, this is not going to be your first time in Algarve. I think you were here in 2019, before all the pandemic started, all the problems. And so you're going to come back with your team from Asia directly to Portugal, with the stop in Europe. So why coming to Algarve, Vila, Santo António? Why the Algarve Sevens is a must for you to come?
It's obviously we've been a few times in the past, and obviously we've brought the men and women's teams over, and it's just important for our teams to play some tournaments away from Asia. The quality of the tournament is definitely what we are seeking. We'll test our teams, and also it just gives us an opportunity to play different teams, as we said, and obviously Portugal. Since my involvement in Sevens a long time now. We've always had a great sort of relationship with Portugal, with Chico and the coaches and everything. And the Algarve is a good location. And Jose is who's helped organise it for us. And Karen is a connection with Hong Kong with Karen as well. So it's just the quality of competition, the training environment, being able to play competitive sevens away from Hong Kong is obviously very, very important to us in the build up to. Originally, we were building up to the Asian Games for both the men and women. The Asian Games, I don't know if you know, has been postponed now. We're not sure exactly when it will take place. But the men's team have got the Challengers Series in Chile in August and also the World Cup in September. So this is the start of that process for the men where we can bring all our players over who are fit. So we brought 21 players. We played 2 tournaments already. By the time we get to the Algarve, we played 2 of the Super 7 Series tournaments, which Developing Spain team are in. And then when we come to the Algarve, that would be 3 tournaments. So everybody would have had a chance to play, because some of our players haven't played competitive rugby outside Hong Kong for nearly 3 years now. So it's just a great opportunity for us to start playing again.
Well, that's a challenge after 3 years to start competitive rugby. So you expect a good competition in Algarve. Sometimes people don't know what the Hong Kong Sevens is like as a team, because the tournament, everyone knows, it's one of the most emblematic things from World Rugby. But what is about the Hong Kong Sevens? What's so special? What's different from them? How do your teams play?
Well, it's just an environment that has become a big part of Hong Kong, obviously, with the Hong Kong Sevens and the affinity with Hong Kong Sevens all over the world. The players who live in Hong Kong and play rugby in Hong Kong obviously have a desire to play sevens and ultimately to play sevens in Hong Kong and maybe get on the World Series as well. That's the aim, because sevens has got a high profile within Hong Kong. So our teams are probably a mix of local Chinese players and expats. The combination of that is probably changes in the women's and the men's team. But they're great to work with from a coaching point of view. They train and based at the Hong Kong Sports Institute, so they're government supported, which we are very fortunate to have that government support, because we are essentially an Olympic sport, which is our aim to qualify for the Olympics at some point too. And obviously to become part of the World Series is the aim, because everybody wants to play at the highest level possible. And we've missed out on, from the men's point of view, on the World Series qualification 3 or 4 times now, becoming runners-up. So it's an aim of ours to, and hence why we're coming over to Europe to play against different teams, really, to help in the preparation for all that.
Okay. So about the Algarve Sevens, you talked about it's one of the tournaments that you are already going in Europe. But why Algarve? Why Vila Santo António? Is there something special about the tournament in itself, or it's just one more step for your team to get to now this year for the World Cup?
Look, the first time we came, we didn't know what to expect. The quality of the tournament was very, very good. And obviously you need to test yourself against better opposition and everything. So, and the fact that we've tried to come back 3 times since the first trip tells you that it's perfect for us. You know, the Algarve is a lovely place. The scenery, the temperature, and everything is ideal. And it just gives us an opportunity again to play rugby in a great environment. The quality of the tournament is important. The training facilities to us is important. The accommodation is important, and all of them we were very, very pleased with the twice that we've been here before. So that's a great reason to come back. We know it's quality. We know we'll be tested, and we know we'll be tested in an environment which has got a great training atmosphere. The gym which we'll be able to train in is ideal. The training facilities and I say the accommodation is good, and also obviously living so close and staying so close to the beach where we can use the sea for recovery and everything is something else that we all enjoy as well. So we're lucky we play in a game we love in a very, very attractive area of Europe and everything. So we feel fortunate to be able to participate, and we're really looking forward to it.
Okay, but you've been in connection with 7's for a long time. Some people are talking that the investment on it is a bad place to go. Why 7's? You think 7's is still a good getaway to get more people inside the rugby union, or things need to shake up and to change a bit?
Yeah, look, when I first got involved with 7's, it was coaching in 2008 with Wales, and that environment it's like you quickly appreciate how good that environment is for developing rugby players. You know, to play at international rugby in a high intensity game with possibly 20, 30, 40,000 people watching, performing under pressure at high intensity, as I said, will test any rugby player. And you know, the fact that the people are playing on an international circuit, able to develop their skills in order to learn how to cope with travel, learn how to cope with playing 6 games over 2 or 3 days, learn to cope with maybe not having the result you want to, bouncing back, and the test of the mental resilience in order to go again the following day or 3 hours later. It's just all the things you can learn from being involved in the 7's environment, from a player, from a coach, from a manager. I think is huge, and it is until you've actually been a part of it or watch it. I do think there's a lack of appreciation for how good it is. We were lucky when I first started with Wales in the sense that we had players who had maybe played at under 20 level and weren't playing regional, and the coaches and the environment saw it worthwhile the players come away and experience international rugby if they weren't going to experience regional rugby. You know, we had internationals like Justin Tipperick, like Rhys Webb, like Alex Cuthbert, people like that who were seasoned internationals and British Lions. You know, now sure you talk to those boys and you got equivalent of for England, Scotland, Portugal, everybody, boys who have experienced 7's wouldn't swap it for their career perspective, because they learn so much in about playing rugby, recovering from rugby, preparing for rugby, but also they get a fantastic experience traveling the world as well. So, you know, I feel lucky to be still involved in it, but I definitely think that in some places underestimated as a development tool for international players for sure.
Oh, that's a good input. I was not expecting it. In the 7's, what is the most important 2 skills? I'm not going to say one, but 2 skills, if you can, if you're looking to a player at your level, what you were looking for.
Well, there's loads. It's hard to narrow them down to 2, for sure. But you know, the skills are important to success or failure. I feel like team-wise, it would be probably kickoffs, winning your kickoffs, winning kickoff receipts. Obviously, the passing under pressure is huge. The controlling the ball in contact and maintaining the ball in contact is a big challenge. Even though there's less people on the field, it's still tested because it all happens so quickly. It's just for me, it tests all the skills. And and if you can pass off both hands under pressure while running, if you can make your tackles, all those things are tested under pressure environment, but also when you've got lots of space around you, which probably makes people feel a little bit more uncomfortable, because people do tend to be uncomfortable in space.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously there's a massive emphasis on your fitness, being able to play at a high intensity, recover quickly, go again, and being able to sort of do that repetitively throughout, hopefully 12, 14 minutes, recovering, going again. So fitness, power, strength, speed, all those things are requirements for sevens players as well. So, it's a lot of things required. And I think it'd be difficult to say two are the most important, but I could definitely list what are important. It's also, it tests attitude as well, and hard work. You look at how people, a lot of things will become better if you're able to work hard and get into position early. And your attitude is your mind doesn't allow you to be beaten, and you keep working for the full duration that you're on the field. Is a challenge, because your mind is telling you you're tired, the mind is telling you your body's aching, you can't go again. And it goes, that's that mental resilience, which is tested to the fore as well.
So you have fun as like a head coach, right? When you have set of players to go to the fitness test and the fitness training.
Look, we enjoy our environment. I'm not going to lie, we feel lucky, privileged to be involved in it. We hear coaching Hong Kong national teams. In at the moment, we're in Loughborough University, which is a great venue, and in 3 days' time we'll be in the Algarve in Portugal, preparing for another high quality tournament. And the environment we still feel is great to work in. We're lucky, we're privileged to be involved in it, and all of us that work in it still appreciate what a great game sevens is. And without a doubt, the athletes that we are working with in the teams that we brought are excellent to work with, and it's challenging in lots of different ways for them as well. But everybody is excited to be here, excited to be coming to the Algarve. So we're playing again, which is just fantastic in itself.
You said the word you said now, playing again. Was it hard to restart everything, to reshape things? Because one thing is to start a season from another is to go from scrap after months of stopped training. How was for you in Hong Kong to restart everything?
So during the COVID lockdown, we were lucky in Hong Kong that we were in the Sports Institute. The Sports Institute supports a lot of sports in Hong Kong. It's fantastic for supporting rugby, because rugby is in an Asian Games and Olympic sport. So we are based in that environment. And during the COVID, in order to protect COVID and protect the athletes from catching it, we would either spend all our time in the SI or all our time out of the SI, which would mean sometimes a week in and a week out, a week in and a week out. And we were able to replicate games or tournament weeks by splitting our teams into two and having competitive games. But obviously, after a year or 18 months, when you're just playing against the people that sort of loses its effectiveness. But for a good while, we were able to do these close camps and train against one another, which through the Sports Institute support obviously helped us keep ticking over, helped us keep competitive, helped us keep our fitness up and things. So that we were lucky in some ways for sure. But then now it's great to be away from Hong Kong in order to have some competition against other countries, other teams, other representative teams in different environments, which is obviously preparing us for tournaments, big tournaments we have in the future.
In sevens requires you to travel a lot. It's not like rugby union, like a premiership or championship, where you stay in one place and you just go 300 miles from your home or something. In sevens, you have to go worldwide. You think that is one of the greatest things of the sport?
It's definitely a major plus with the sport to be able to travel to other countries, experience other cultures, to train in different environments, and appreciate how, in some ways, lucky we are, what we've got, but also the travel, speaking and like I said, the culture and being away from home, and it brings you together as a team, as a coaching staff, as a group of players, for sure, being away from home. And we got obviously a big variety of ages. We've got 17, 18-year-olds with us, and we've got players-wise 30-year-olds with us, and coaching wise, 50 plus age wise. So there's a big mix, but it does give you these experiences that maybe you wouldn't have in other coaching environments. And we're very, very lucky to be able to travel again now. It was quite hard, as you know, for a few years, and we hardly travelled at all. But we did manage to get a few tournaments in during the peak of COVID. And we managed to play in a few World Series tournaments because other countries couldn't travel, and we managed to play in the Olympic repechage, and also we managed to play in a one-off Asian Series tournament in Dubai. So some of the players have played, but obviously not all of them have played, and that's why we decided to come to Europe and bring the majority of our squad, and we're very grateful for the support of Hong Kong Sports Institute and Hong Kong Rugby Union for allowing us to do that. And it's just so we're halfway through the trip now, and yeah, it's excellent to be back competing, back training again away from home.
We are approaching at the end of the interview. 2 questions before it. One of them is, Hong Kong won the Asia Rugby Games, Asia Games, sorry, at the Rugby Sevens in 2018. Now he's going to the World Cup of Sevens. What was for you the highest point until this in this journey for the Hong Kong Sevens for you?
I think obviously winning the Asia Games would be the highest achievement we've had within the Sevens environment, because it's so important to the program, to the funding, to the maintenance of the support from the Hong Kong Sports Institute, and it was huge for the whole environment and sort of securing the support for another 4 years, and that's why it's important again whenever it gets replayed. So that would be probably one of the highlights. And I think getting to the final of the Challenger Series in the Hong Kong Sevens in 2019 against Ireland was a great tournament, and it probably gave us an insight into what we needed to do in order to try and qualify for it, because Ireland were a little bit better than us at the day, and they were a lot quicker than us. You can see how successful they are now on the World Series by getting to a final last week. So that proves that it can be done from our level, but it obviously takes a lot of work, a lot of commitment, a lot of resource, player depth and everything to be able to do it. So those what I'd say would be 2 peaks for sure.
And now Hong Kong, the men team is going to play in the elite tournament, and the women is going to play for the Women Open. What do you expect from your teams? I know coaches, some head coaches hate to say that they have their goal to win or to do this or to that. So I'm going to ask you not what you want to win, but what you want to see from your team in a tournament that will have teams from France, Spain, Portugal, from Asia and from other places.
Yeah, I want to see us to be able to perform on a different stage again, but to be able to perform to the best of our ability and to show how express ourselves and test ourselves against different opposition, but test our training, have confidence in our training and our preparation, and then push to obviously whatever tournament we're in, we want to try and win it, and that's got to be the ultimate aim. But in the process, I want us to see us playing and performing and going through our processes and having confidence to express themselves in an environment which can be challenging just because of the pure nature of the game, and just to do themselves proud really, and to come away from the tournament being really happy with how they performed. And if they're really happy with how they performed and perform how they can, I think we'll be okay in these tournaments.
Okay, Paul, thank you for coming today for the Get to Know the Sevens in the Sun. I hope you have a good time in Algarve. It's going to be your 3rd time there, I think, since the tournament started. So let's see together there. You can watch I don't know if the Super Series people can watch it online on stream in England.
Yes, I believe it is streamed. Yes, yeah. Okay. Pitch one of the two pitches is streamed live. Yeah.
Okay, so you can watch the Hong Kong team playing in the Super Series. It's a very good Sevens tournament. It's a very challenging one. A lot of games in one day. In one day, so it's physical. It's good. So watch it before you see them in Algarve, in Vila, Santo António, in the Algarve Sevens. Paul, thank you again for coming to come to the show. See you there.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you soon. Thanks very much.
See you next. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I need all the wins. Yeah.